The journey of How to Train Your Dragon began in 2010, when the first film introduced the world to the Viking village of Berk and its fascinating relationship with dragons. Based on the book series by Cressida Cowell, the animated adaptation brought to life a unique tale of friendship, bravery, and understanding. At the heart of the story was Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III, an unlikely hero who defied tradition by befriending a dragon, Toothless, rather than slaying him. This act of defiance sparked a chain of events that transformed Berk from a place of fear and conflict into a harmonious home for both Vikings and dragons. The first film's success wasn't just due to its heartwarming story but also its groundbreaking visuals. DreamWorks Animation pushed the boundaries of CGI, delivering stunning dragon flight sequences that made audiences feel like they were soaring through the skies alongside Toothless. Complemented by John Powell's unforgettable score, the film resonated deeply with audiences of all ages, making it a box office hit and earning 2 Academy Award nominations. As the series expanded with How to Train Your Dragon 2, 2014, and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World 2019, it evolved into a coming-of-age epic. Hiccup's journey from an awkward teenager to a wise leader mirrored the growth of its audience, and the films never shied away from tackling mature themes like loss, responsibility, and letting go. Each installment raised the stakes, delivering more complex narratives, breathtaking animation, and emotionally charged moments that left fans in awe. By the end of the trilogy, How to Train Your Dragon had solidified itself as one of the most beloved franchises in animation history. Its impact extended beyond the screen, inspiring merchandise, theme park attractions, and a devoted fanbase that continued to celebrate its legacy. The series' themes of empathy and coexistence felt timeless, ensuring that it would be remembered for generations to come. When the live-action adaptation was announced, it felt like a natural progression for such a monumental story. Fans were eager to see how Berk and its dragons would be reimagined in a live-action format. Could the lush animation and endearing characters translate to a new medium? Would Toothless maintain his iconic charm? These questions ignited global excitement, setting the stage for a bold new chapter in the How to Train Your Dragon legacy. The leap from animation to live action is no small feat, especially when adapting a beloved story like How to Train Your Dragon. The journey to bring Berk and its dragons into a tangible, real-world setting began with assembling the perfect creative team. At the helm of the project were filmmakers and visionaries who deeply understood the heart of the original trilogy. Whether it was Dean Deblu returning as a consultant or new directors stepping in to inject fresh energy, the team's mission was clear: honor the spirit of the original while elevating it with the power of live-action filmmaking. One of the first major hurdles was casting. Bringing Hiccup, Astrid, Stoic, and the other iconic characters to life required finding actors who could embody their personalities, struggles, and growth. Casting Hiccup was especially challenging. The character's evolution from an awkward misfit to a brave leader demanded an actor who could balance vulnerability with determination. Meanwhile, fans were eager to see who would take on the role of Astrid, the fierce and independent warrior who serves as Hiccup's partner in both love and battle. The eventual casting choices sparked widespread discussion, with some decisions initially met with skepticism. However, early footage and interviews began to reassure fans that the actors had embraced their roles wholeheartedly. Beyond casting, the filmmakers faced the monumental task of recreating Berk and its dragons in a way that felt authentic and immersive. The production team scouted breathtaking real-world locations to represent Berk's rugged cliffs, stormy seas, and vast forests. These settings, combined with intricate set designs, brought a new level of realism to the Viking village. Then came the dragons. Bringing Toothless to life in live action was perhaps the most ambitious challenge. The team used a combination of cutting-edge CGI and animatronics to ensure the dragons felt as real and expressive as their animated counterparts. The goal was to preserve Toothless' playful, cat-like behavior and emotional depth, which had made him a fan favorite. The process wasn't without its challenges. Actors had to perform alongside green screens, motion capture rigs, and stand-ins, often relying on their imaginations to interact with creatures that would only exist after post-production. Despite the technical difficulties, the cast and crew embraced the process, determined to create a film that would do justice to the legacy of How to Train Your Dragon. By the end of production, Berk and its dragons were ready to take flight like never before. The heart and soul of How to Train Your Dragon lies in its dragons. From the iconic Night Fury Toothless to the vibrant array of species that populate the world of Berk, these fantastical creatures are more than just visual spectacles, they are characters with unique personalities, emotions, and quirks. Translating these beloved dragons from animation to live action was one of the greatest challenges for the filmmakers. The first and most critical task was bringing Toothless to life. As Hiccup's closest companion, Toothless is more than a dragon, he's a loyal friend, a mischievous troublemaker, and, at times, a heroic savior. Fans have always adored his expressive eyes, playful movements, and almost feline-like demeanor. To recreate this charm in live action, the production team used a combination of advanced CGI and animatronics. Cutting-edge motion capture technology allowed animators to map out the dragon's movements with incredible precision, while animatronics were used in key scenes to give actors a tangible connection to Toothless. This dual approach ensured that Toothless felt real, both to the cast and to the audience. Another challenge was expanding the dragon roster. In the animated films, dragons like Stormfly, Meatlug, and Hookfang each had their own distinctive traits. The live-action adaptation took these designs and refined them for a realistic aesthetic while retaining their individuality. Designers studied the anatomy and behavior of real-world animals, such as birds, reptiles, and big cats, to create dragons that felt biologically plausible. For example, Stormfly, Astrid's loyal deadly natter, was designed with the grace and agility of a raptor, while the lumbering Gronkel, Meatlug, resembled a cross between a bulldog and a hippo. The filmmakers also enhanced the flight sequences, one of the franchise's most iconic elements. Using drones, helicopters, and virtual cameras, they captured sweeping aerial shots to simulate the thrill of dragon riding. These scenes combined real-world landscapes with computer-generated dragons, creating a seamless blend of fantasy and reality. Behind the scenes, the actors worked tirelessly to sell the illusion of interacting with these majestic creatures. Stand-ins, puppets, and green screen props provided reference points, but much of the magic came from the actors' performances. They had to imagine the awe of flying on a dragon's back, the warmth of Toothless' gaze, or the danger of a dragon's fiery breath. By the end of production, the dragons weren't just stunning visual effects, they were characters audiences would believe in and connect with, ensuring the live-action film could soar as high as its animated predecessor. When adapting a beloved story like How to Train Your Dragon, the filmmakers faced a critical decision: should they remain entirely faithful to the original trilogy or take creative liberties to breathe fresh life into the tale? The live-action adaptation strikes a delicate balance, honoring the heart of the original story while introducing new twists and surprises to captivate both longtime fans and newcomers. While the film retains its central premise, the unlikely friendship between Hiccup, a young Viking outcast, and Toothless, a rare and misunderstood dragon, it also delves deeper into the rich lore of Berk and its dragons. The live-action format allows for more intricate world-building, exploring aspects of Viking culture and dragon mythology that were only briefly touched upon in the animated trilogy. For example, the adaptation expands on the origins of the dragon riders, their bond with dragons, and the hidden histories of Dragonkind. One of the most notable changes is the addition of new characters who add complexity to the narrative. A mysterious new antagonist emerges, someone who challenges not only Hiccup's leadership but also his belief in the peaceful coexistence between humans and dragons. This villain is more cunning and morally ambiguous than any the franchise has seen before, making the stakes feel higher than ever. Their motivations are tied to a hidden secret about dragons that could change everything Hiccup and his friends thought they knew. The live-action version also brings fresh depth to the relationships among the core characters. Hiccup and Astrid's partnership takes center stage, showcasing their struggles as they navigate the responsibilities of leadership. Stoic, Hiccup's father, is given more backstory, allowing audiences to better understand his once unyielding stance on dragons. Even Toothless has new moments of growth, including interactions with other dragons that reveal more about his role as the last Night Fury. Perhaps the most surprising element of the film is its willingness to take risks with the story. While the animated trilogy concluded on a bittersweet note, the live-action adaptation teases an entirely new direction. The filmmakers add moments of suspense and mystery, with twists that keep viewers guessing until the very end. Ultimately, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon doesn't just retell a familiar tale, it reimagines it for a new era. By combining the emotional core of the original with fresh narrative layers and surprising revelations, the film offers a cinematic experience that feels both nostalgic and exhilaratingly new. As the credits rolled on the live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon, audiences were left buzzing with excitement, debates, and emotions. But did the film soar to the heights of its animated predecessor, or did it fall short of expectations? The reception to such a bold reimagining of a beloved classic was always going to be mixed, but the early reactions provide an intriguing glimpse into its impact. The first reactions from test screenings painted a picture of both triumph and controversy. Fans praised the film for its breathtaking visuals and stunningly realized world of Berk. The live-action format allowed for a richer, more immersive experience. The Viking village, perched on dramatic cliffs surrounded by turbulent seas, felt more real than ever. The dragons, particularly Toothless, were lauded for their incredible design and emotional expressiveness, which made them feel alive and tangible. Flight sequences, a hallmark of the franchise, were described as awe-inspiring, with some fans comparing them to iconic moments from Avatar. However, not all feedback was glowing. A key point of contention lay in the creative liberties the filmmakers took with the story. While many appreciated the deeper exploration of dragon lore and the addition of a darker, more complex antagonist, some felt the changes deviated too far from the simplicity and charm of the original. The introduction of new characters and subplots divided fans. While some saw them as necessary to modernize the narrative, others felt they diluted the focus on Hiccup and Toothless' relationship. Critics also weighed in, noting that while the film succeeded in crafting a visually spectacular world, it sometimes struggled to recapture the emotional intimacy of the animated trilogy. The absence of the original voice cast was deeply felt by some, as the new actors had big shoes to fill. Despite this, most agreed that the performances of the new cast, particularly the actors portraying Hiccup and Astrid, brought fresh energy to the beloved characters. As the film hit theaters, its cultural impact became clear. Audiences were captivated by the nostalgia and innovation it offered, and social media buzzed with debates about its merits. Merchandising, themed events, and renewed interest in the franchise signaled that the adaptation had successfully reignited love for How to Train Your Dragon. In the end, whether viewed as a roaring success or a divisive misfire, the live-action adaptation achieved one undeniable goal: it reminded the world of the timeless power of this story. With whispers of potential sequels, fans and critics alike are left wondering, what's next for Berk and its dragons?